Hey, I'm here to talk about essential oils and how I use them in journeys, meditations, ritual, even around the house for quite banal activities. I think I'm relatively a newcomer to these sorts of things. I think in the past I'd always associated essential oils with the very worst sort of scented candles there are, things that smell like stuff that you plug into the wall. It smells disgusting, like the trees you hang in your car, that kind of thing. And I didn't want my house or myself to smell like that, so I never really got into it. Anyway, then one day I was, quite recently really, at the chemist waiting for a prescription because for some reason this chemist takes forever to do prescriptions. And you know, as you do, you're walking up and down having a look at the shelves and you're thinking, oh, do I need more makeup? Do I need more soap? And then I found the essential oil area and I thought, I'll just have a quick look at these. And what I think struck me about these ones is that they're Australian botanicals. And up until that point, I'd always associated essential oils with quite European things like, I don't know, like rose, geranium, lavender, even frankincense and myrrh, which aren't European, but are popular in Europe. All of those things, which are definitely not Australian. And I didn't know that you could get Australian ones. The only thing I'd known about Australian essential oils was tea tree, which you use for cleaning, or eucalyptus, which is quite an astringent smell. So anyway, this brand is called Basistos. Now I'm aware that a lot of people who watch this channel are not Australian, so you're probably not familiar with this brand or any of the brands I'm going to talk about, or even the scents that I'm going to talk about. But you know, I'm hoping that this introduces you to the idea of Australian botanicals and maybe prompts you to have a try of their smells yourself, because they're really amazing. They're really, really beautiful. Before I go any further, I need to say none of these companies have paid me or asked me to do this. They've not given me any free stuff. This is just a rundown of what I myself use. So anyway, I saw these Basistos ones. I think it was this one that I got first, Daintree. Anyway, I took that home and I tried it out and it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. It was so delicate and divine. It was beautiful. So then I went out and bought all of the other ones and they're all really, really nice. And so I started using these for meditation purposes and they're great. They actually smell like the Australian bush. They don't smell synthetic or chemically. They're very beautiful, very delicate. And then I found myself thinking, well, these ones are blends. Like, what else could I do? Could I actually buy these individually and make my own blends? And that was what I wanted to do. So then I ended up finding these guys online. These people are called Essentially Australia, and they're based in Byron Bay in New South Wales. So they had every single one of these constituents as separate oils. So I ordered a big order here. I had a bit of money on spare, so I ordered a huge order and they came in. These are amazing. These are really good. So the beautiful thing about these is you buy them all separately and then you can make your own blend. So that's very exciting. What I tend to do with these is I separate them into a different type. So you've got these ones. This is Australian blue cypress, all right? What else? Australian white cypress and Buddha wood. Buddha wood. That sounds so woo-woo, doesn't it? Meditation-y, just like what we like. These are amazing. You open the top of these, right? I'll just do this one. This one's my favorite. It's very woody. It's very resinous. It's very very redolent. It evokes the idea of treasures stored in camphor chests from far away overseas, although this is Australian. Beautiful. But on its own, it would be very overpowering. That brings me over to this group over here. And these ones are sort of like what you would call the top note or the middle note. So these ones are the ground note, the bass note. And then you've got these ones, which are what I call the middle note. All of these are middle to top note ones. And these are all different types of eucalyptus. Now, I thought there was only one type of eucalyptus, this one, but there's not. There's so many more and they're so delicious. Well, not to eat, but to smell. This one is called Kunzia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Kunzia. And this one's my favorite. This one smells like the Australian bush when you go for a bushwalk. It's amazing. The other really nice ones are, there's a few myrtle ones. I've got honey myrtle, which is actually quite lemony really, and mango myrtle, which isn't mango-y, but is kind of fruity. And then I've got this really large bottle of lemon ironbark. And the reason I've got this one is when I first ordered this, they kind of stuffed up the order. But the guy was so nice on the phone. He was lovely. He fixed it up immediately and he sent me this for free. So I kind of lied when I said I didn't get anything for free, but it's not in exchange for this promotion. He gave it to me just to be nice. So very nice. Nice of you, Greg, from Essentially Australia. This one's really nice. This one smells like the Australian bush too. Lemon ironbark. So I kind of think of these as being a bit like music, right? So you've got this one. This is the bass. Put the bass. And then you've got these ones. These are like the mids. So you've got the guitars and the synths and the pads and the leads, maybe a bit of vocals. And then you might want to have the highs. So you've got your hi-hats, your percussion, stuff like that. And honestly, just a little bit of lavender is good for a high. Maybe a little bit of lemon. I like to experiment. I've been having a ball with the diffuser. Another thing, diffuser works much better than an oil burner. You get a much more of an intense smell and it lasts longer. So definitely go for a diffuser. You only need a couple of drops of these. Now, the other thing about these ones is when they first arrived, I thought they were empty, but they're not empty. They're just solid at room temperature where I live, which is very cold. So you have to run them under the tap a bit to loosen them up. A couple of drops of these, and then a couple of drops of these. I tell you what, is it this one? Honey myrtle. You need hardly anything of this. It's very strong. And then you set it going, and they're amazing. So my favorite so far is Australian white cypress and Kunzea. And today I'm going to try this with a little top note of lavender just to see how it smells, how it sounds. Yeah, okay. Bass, guitar, percussion. It's not only like woo-woo magic and witchcraft stuff that you can do with these things. You can even use them around the house. So I've got cats. Of course I do. You knew that, didn't you, that I've got cats? I've got cats. And one of them just used to love to pee inside. He would pee inside all the goddamn time. Wouldn't matter. I could have the door wide open, 4 litter trays completely clean, and he'd still be peeing next to the spare bedroom, which is where my dad stays, and he always gets mad at me about it, whatever. I was going mad with this cat pee situation, and I found that if you make a blend of eucalyptus, lemon, and lavender, cats don't like that smell. And you can just have a bit of a spray or a bit of a drop or use it in your washing water over the floor, and they wouldn't go there. I did have to reapply it quite a lot, but anyway, great. The other thing, yeah, you can just add it to a spray that you use to dust your stuff. It has a very nice fresh odor. So yeah, even for other banal, non-meditation-y type purposes, these are pretty good. I've never tried to eat any of these, probably wouldn't do that. Anyway, they've become a really essential part of my practice when it comes to meditation. And you might notice that in my journeys, I recommend that you use these specific scents because I love them. And I would love it if more people from overseas discovered the power of Australian botanicals. I'm going to be getting way more of these. And yeah, so I'll put a few of links on how to get hold of these ones into the video description. And if you have any questions or any comments, hit me up. I'm always happy to have a conversation.